Originally, the first match was going to be IT College West versus RP. Things happen. Blank, 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 dot, dot, dot. Now we are changing things up. We're going to NYP versus TP. Walk me through this. Like, what do you think of this matchup coming in?
You know, looking at TP, currently they are placed fourth in Group B. They are given a chance to go since they're currently tied up with the other teams. They are given a chance to go and become top two if they get this win against the team that currently has a 4-win streak. You know.
Yeah. NYP very solid. I don't think they've dropped a single game so far. And like you said, this is their chance, TP's chance to kind of break into the top two, possibly even the top three. And remember, just for the format for the viewers watching out there, it's top four of each group that makes it out into playoffs. And you always want that spot. You want that spot as high as possible so that you get a better matchup against the lower teams. And this is a very competitive group that they're going up against, right? Because NYP and TP, I believe, are from Group B, which is, for lack of a better term, an easier group, right? We were talking about this. Group B has lesser competition. Some of the teams are a bit more inexperienced, right? Whereas Group A is super cutthroat, and everyone in Group A is out to kill. You look at teams like SIM, 5-man roster of ex-pros. Like, how are you gonna play against that, right? That is a stacked group. And in Group B, it's like the training group. It's easy. You have your training wheels on. It's significantly easier. So both teams will be looking for a top spot to exit that group and hopefully not have to play against the likes of SIM, not have to play against the likes of NP because they are putting up numbers right now.
And when you don't play those teams, you can get a chance to become top 4.
Yep.
And suddenly you have a chance to become top 3. Get some of the prizes as well.
I think that's exactly it, right? You hit the nail on the head. As early in the tournament as possible for the playoffs, you want to get the easiest matchup because that's been the name of the game so far for a lot of the teams. Try to take the easy Ws whenever they are given to you and, contest the 50-50 games, right? There are some games where it's like second seed versus third seed, very difficult. No choice, you have to play those out. But if you're like a first seed going up against the sixth seed, you better get that win. You better clock it in and you better put some distance between you and your opponents.
And then now you have those wins, you put yourself in a safe spot, and then you go on to the knockout stages as well.
And the knockout stages also, like we mentioned, will be happening online. And it's going to be top 4 from each group making it into the knockout stages. Very, very difficult, I think, coming in. Like, there is going to be a challenge because then we separate, like, the tier, not tier 1, but like the stronger half from the weaker half, right? The top 4 of every group is essentially, like, the ones that are the best. And then they play into the knockout stages, which again affords another set of difficulties coming in. So I think that's going to be coming up right now. We're on week 5. There's another 2 more weeks before we finish the group stages. So there are some windows for both teams to kind of try their best, to get as many wins as possible, find themselves in a good position. Because as we were looking at our first match of today, I do want to reiterate. NYP versus TP, right? Right now, NYP 4-0. There's an opportunity for them to end the group stages at 6-0, which would be perfect for them. That being said, next week they are playing against NUS, and one of our casters is on the NUS team. Remy is actually like I want to say coach, captain, like top laner for them. He plays everything and he helps them draft. He is not gonna get let NYP off easily. Knowing Remy, he's going to be like watching this and preparing it and counter-stratting against NYP. I think all that is just going to mean that NYP needs this win more than ever now against TP.
With Remy on the NUS team, I think it's really going to put a stop towards NYP's miracle run this time.
Yeah. Miracle run is right. 4-0, potentially 5-0 today. I don't know if they could go 6-0 next week. It might be difficult against NUS. It's up for debate. Remy probably has other statements to make apart from what we think. On the other side of the coin, TEMASEK Poly. They're at 2-1 right now. If they win this, of course, they make it a 3-1. Ideally, they are looking to close out their group stage performance with 5-1 because they still have 2 matches after this. And for them to be 5-1 against, a potential NYP that might be 5-1 too after they drop a match against NUS, then this group looks a bit more different. It looks a bit more difficult. So I'm curious to see how all that plays out right now. I think the players are in lobby. Should be looking to go in the game soon. Just to remind our viewers, it's a best of 1. This is TEMASEK Poly going up against NANYANG POLYTECHNIC. I have no horse in the game. I'm from neither of these polytechnics. I'm sure you have no horse in the game either. So this is going to be as unbiased as possible. Of course, we'll try to bring you guys the best broadcast experience. I'm going to be taking, a bit more of an analyst position. Right now, the game is in a weird state of flux. If you watched LEC yesterday, you saw that Mundo has been very popular, and I think Mundo is enabled now, if I'm not wrong. It's been past the 2-week mark, so we might just see the Mundo, the madman of Zon, make an appearance in the top lane himself.
Yep. Maybe top lane. He got some changes in the jungle, so we possibly could see him in there.
Yep. We should be going to draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Game 1 of Nanyang Polytechnic versus TEMASEK Polytechnic. And right now, TP looking to put an end to the win streak, like you said, the miracle run of NYP. Whether they can play, game breakers or combo breakers is going to be up for question as we are into draft, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm thinking they may ban out Mundo, No one wants to deal with him.
Yep.
So that's why they ban him out.
I feel like if you haven't had time to practice, if you haven't had time to kind of prep, Mundo is a decent ban here. Of course, there are a lot of tier 1 picks in the current meta. I think Xin Zhao, yeah, there you go. The moment I mentioned, immediately banned out. Xin Zhao is one of those things like insanely high win rate, insanely high effectiveness in the jungle. I think Johan, Lemmings Messiah was talking about it, how with his changes to the W, you basically can jump someone from a screen away, right? As long as you tag them with your wind becomes lightning, instant charge in, instant knockup. Most people go Hail of Blades just to guarantee to get the knockup, and I think it's a very oppressive pick, which is why it's banned out. Set now is going to be the next ban, and Set, I feel like this is more of a he does too many things too well kind of pick. Could put him in mid, could put him in top, could even put him in support. And even though Strike Breaker has been sort of nerfed, it's still a very powerful kind of choice for the Set, and I think teams are very concerned about Set.
Jax being banned out, I don't really see a point, but you let him snowball way too much, he becomes a threat as well.
And more so in these kind of tournaments where single players, you look at games or tournaments like LEC, LPL, LCK, where split pushing effectively can be countered by just good teamwork, good macro. When it comes to Campus Legends, one thing we see very often is when a top laner just snowballs by himself, he becomes a split pushing monster, and the opponents don't really know how to deal with it. They don't have the coordination yet, they don't have the teamwork yet to really nail him down and lock him down and kill him and punish him, right? So this is why picks like, the Jax, picks like the Nocturne, who also does want to split push, become, very scary to deal with.
Oh, and Gwen being banned out. She's very popular in the LEC. Always seen her being played in the top, sometimes even mid. So maybe NYP may match this with a Viego ban.
I think so, right? I think so. Oh, this man, he tells the future, ladies and gentlemen. Slide in his DM and look for a 40 number because he is coming up on point. These are the bans that we were kind of talking about in the earlier half of the draft, and they're both coming to fruition. Gwen, like you mentioned, very flexible, and so is Viego to a certain extent. Could put him in the jungle, could put him in mid, top lane even if you wanted to, and I think these are, what both teams have identified as threats right now as we see the insta-lock Samira. I don't know how I feel about this, man. Samira's in a weird place right now. Unless you're playing Ultimate Spellbook, maybe, you might feel good about her, but she's still in a weird place as far as AD carries go, because Varus is open, Tristana is open, even Kalista is open. All of those do relatively well with the Samira, I imagine.
Especially, some Kalista, you take a Braum, throw them in, and now you have a very good engage.
Against the Samira too, right? She's yes, she can pull up that sort of pseudo wind wall, pseudo projectile block, but only for a second. And Kalista doesn't care about that. She just wants to, stick as many spears into you as possible and punish you with a big Ren. Now after Leona picked up, Kalista seems like more of an option. Like we've been talking about the values of that pick. You can go Braum, you can go Nautilus, you can go Thresh even. But in this case, it's going to be the Leona, and what would they round off their first phase with? Is it going to be Lee Sin or Jarvan? I feel like it's going to be the Jarvan here. So NYP drafting towards a bit more hard engage, a bit more teamfight lockdown. They want the Solar Flare, they want the Cataclysm to keep people in place. And TP immediately respond with a classic, the Taric here. If you're going to jump at us, if you're going to run at us and try to lock us down, we'll teamfight you. We'll just pop the ultimate and fight you.
Yeah, especially, have you seen the Fnatic versus G2 game?
Yes, I did. Oh, okay, you know what? We hyped it up. They're like, nah, we're just showing you.
And Hecarim, I believe, in the jungle.
Okay, Hecarim here saw some big changes. I think earlier in the I want to say second quarter, third quarter of the year, where they nerfed Chemtank, right? I think Chemtank was the big kind of factor for why Hecarim saw a lot of popularity together with Udyr. But we're seeing some Divine Sunderer, Hecarim builds come out as well. There's a variety of things you can do with this pick, and maybe it's just something that TP feels is very comfortable for them. It's not inherently the best jungler, but it is something they're comfortable with and they're going to go for. And comboed with the Alistar, some good counter engage, some good force engage as well. Now the Sylas, the last pick on R3 as they move into the next ban phase. Sylas here, again, flex potential is there. You can put him top, can put him mid, but I do imagine this is going to be a mid lane Sylas.
Now, I think, if it's mid lane, NYP is possibly going to ban out the mid laners, as Kassadin is being banned out.
These are the picks that like Silas doesn't want to play into because if you steal the Silas ultimate, right? So, hypothetically, if you go mid against Kassadin, Silas jacks his ultimate and he uses it instantly and there's nothing you can do. It's like one of the worst ultimates to steal as Silas. So I could see why they're banning out the Kassadin here.
Yeah, and then you have the ultimates of Hakrim, Alistar that makes Silas much more potent.
Even to a certain extent, I would say Samira, but like it still feels kind of iffy. Alistair Hakrim, you're right on the money there, Nick. I think those are the picks that you want to watch out for. Callista ban coming out. This is interesting because we talked about this very early on. They read this, they're like, Leona Callista is a big problem because then they get a free engage with the Leona. She just jumps in. Anything goes wrong, Fate's call, pull her out, and then decide if you want to fight again, right?
Final bans for NYP will be the Shen in the top lane.
Quite curious here because you ban out the Kassadin first and then you go for Shin. This tells me that they want a top laner that wants to bully out the opponent, not just someone that can sit in the matchup and go even. And it's going to be a very heavy AA based, like auto attack, right click based top laner here that Shin just deals very well into. So off the top of my head, maybe something like a Nar might be good, or even an Irelia here. Oh, it's the Irelia's banned out. You know what? It's fine.
I think it's a Darius for some reason because know he just got buffed.
Okay.
His hemorrhage does 30 damage.
Okay.
And it's sort of broken.
Okay, maybe a Darius, we will see. Eyes on the Kai'Sa right now as we see Kai'Sa Leona, one of the old school kind of synergistic bot lane pairings because you apply the plasma stacks very quickly with the Leona. And not to mention, as long as you hit Solar Flare on their backline, Kai'Sa can just fly in. Kai'Sa's Killer Instinct allows her to reposition on anyone that has a plasma stack. So I think it's a very strong kind of bot duo that deals decently well against Samira and Alistair.
And then you have that one that just goes into the backline. And then now you have on the TP side another person that can go onto the backline as well.
Yeah, on the TP side you have the Volley Bear who's going to be riding the Thunder and Lightning into the backline. But again, like we pointed out, these are all ultimates that Silas would love to steal. Right? We saw them hover like the Amumu, which I assume is Tropic, so is Bard. But any kind of champion here that has a big ticket ultimate, right, that wants to just fight with the ultimate is going to be a threat, which is why Karma here feels like a better pick. If you hijack Karma's ultimate, again, it's similar to Kassadin. You get one cast off, it's not the most impactful, your ultimates are cooldown, right?
And then final pick for NYP, I believe would be their mid laner or top lane?
It has to be top lane, right? It can't be, I mean, you could in theory play Silas into Volley Bear. It's not the worst matchup. I think you just go 50-50 and just like sustain and hope to not die. You have very good setup with the Jarvan as well, because you can gap close and just land the E and keep him in place for the Jarvan to come in. So Azir here is them answering saying, okay, if it's going to be a Karma mid, she's going to be pushing us. Azir gets a free lane here in this matchup. They want to scale. They want to scale in teamfight because their teamfight ultimates are so good with Leona, Jarvan, as well as Azir. Combo with a Silas who's going to be stealing either Onslaught of Shadows or the Volley Bear ultimate. Like, these are so many like high impact ults that when you scale to the late game in this lineup, feels really good.
Especially, Silas with those ultimates, even though they scale very well, he himself also scales to an extent where it becomes a threat even to powerful champions like Viego.
In this game, it's like, if the Silas gets big, and he lanes against like Karma or Samira in a side lane, if they decide that lane assignment, he could solo kill them, right? He could very easily solo kill them, especially with the current item build that most Silas players go for, which is the Everfrost into Cosmic Drive, I think. Gives you a lot of cooldown reduction, gives you like an additional set of CC tools, and also allows you to stay on them. Like, keep as close as possible, keep like your distance as little as possible so that you stick on them and can consistently auto them.
And then with the cooldown reduction as well, it makes it so much harder to punish. He misses his E, he still has his Kingslayer.
Exactly.
Once his Kingslayer is used, he has his E back up.
Yeah, it's the cooldown reduction. I play a lot of Silas, by the way. I play a lot of Silas mid. I understand that at a certain point, I think it's like 70 to 80% ability haste. Your Kingslayer and your E is on like a ridiculously low cooldown, right? If you're able to just juggle the activations properly, you will always be in a range to like stick onto someone, right? Because not to mention, his Q also has a slowing effect, right? Combined with Everfrost, you get most of the time 2 rotations off. Like, you always get 2 rotations of spells off, and against someone that doesn't have a gap closer, doesn't have a way to dash out, it's a death sentence, right? Both Karma and Samira will die if they get locked down. Samira more so with the nerfs to her E. Like, her dash, she cannot dash through allies anymore, right?
Yep.
Can only dash through enemies. Silas jumps on you, you're like, where am I dashing to, right? There's no way I can get away from him. Even worse so if he has, like we said, the Everfrost and Cosmic Drive.
You just get rooted, you just get stunned. There's really nothing much you can do.
Yep. And win conditions wise, we talked a lot about NYP. Big ticket ultimates, scaling is there. For TP, I think they want to go early and aggressive. If they can get the Samira popping early on, if they can get the Hecarim to, jungle gap the Jarvan, it will feel like a very good game because they snowball very hard with the Hecarim and Samira just by virtue of having control over space. In this case, if you're fighting in chokes, Hecarim and Samira will rip you apart. Combined with the Alistar, right? They will absolutely demolish you. That's the thing I'm looking for TP. In the early game, if they can find them in the chokes, force them to contest like Herald, force them to contest Dragons, and they get the drop on them. They get the jump with the Volibear. In these small enclosed spaces, Hecarim, Samira, even to a certain extent Volibear and Alistar, have the ability to just punish you and kill you very quickly.
Yep. So that being said, Vision will be key fighting force for NYP to set that up.
Yep. NYP always needs Vision. Like, it sounds like a duh. Of course, everyone needs Vision, but more so in NYP's case because they need information of where TP is, how they're getting attacked, like how TP decides to angle in from them is going to be what allows NYP to either like call off the fight or handshake a fight, right? When you know how they're running at you and how they plan to start the fight, NYP can make these very educated decisions about how they want to handshake or disengage a fight. So I think you're absolutely right on that. Vision is going to be super important coming in. With 15 seconds left on the clock, as you can see on the top of the screen, just want to remind our viewers right now in Twitch chat, you can hashtag TP, hashtag Legion, and vote for either your team to win TP or NYP. And you know what? Just humor me and give me a reason. Maybe you think that on the NYP side, a particular player is very strong or very attractive, or you're a stan, you're a big fan, this guy's awesome to you in school, and he's always buying you kopi peng. Then yeah, by all means, hashtag vote him, hashtag Legion, and send it in Twitch chat. At the end of the day, one of you guys will stand a chance to win this, and I'm gonna pull this out again. Jang, Lenovo KM300 keyboard and mouse combo, with the nice RGB backlit kind of effect as well. Awesome stuff coming in. So unfortunately, Nick, we are not allowed to win any of this.
Yeah,
so
sadly.
I can see the one singular tear falling down your face because you want this, but unfortunately, no chance to get it. Hold on, let me just make sure I can put this up so you guys know what you're looking to play for. We've been doing a lot of these giveaways, week on week. So hopefully, you guys are entertained. You guys are invested, in winning something here. Of course, that is going to be our giveaway for today, and tomorrow we'll have another set of giveaways coming in for our MLBB segments as well. So, each day we were kind of like, actually, to give you some context, we were deciding what to give away, right? At first, we wanted to give away the keyboard and mouse as well on Sundays, but considering it's MLBB, it makes no sense. So we decided league days are when we're going to be giving away the keyboards, and MLBB days is when, you want to be comfortable and well attired, and that's when Uniqlo comes in.
Yep. And then these sportswear very comfortable. Was caught in the rain just now. and then now look at me, I'm perfectly dry.
Yeah, I think exact same for me, right? I was like, oh no, it's gonna be a really wet day, and we're dressed like this. But for one, it dries super quickly, and for the second, it's actually to a certain extent like I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say like warm, but like it keeps you like kind of like well ventilated. Is the word, as weird as that sounds. Yeah. All right, on to the Rift we go. It's going to be TP on the blue side, NYP on the red side. We'll see if TEMASEK Polytechnic can upset the win streak of NANYANG Poly, or if NYP is going to carry on with their dominance. 4 wins in a row, looking for their 5th. Here we go.
And as we said, the Hecarim will be in the jungle. Could be a threat. Would be a threat to the Jarvan, especially the jungle gap. That's something we need to be concerned about.
I love how jungle gap is a thing. Like last time, it used to be a toxic thing to say, but certain times there are moments in the game that actually call for jungle gap when you're like 20 CS ahead, 5 camps ahead of your opponent. There is like a jungle gap, right?
Now everything's playing pretty safe for the side of both teams. No one wants to invade. Maybe a late invade from NYP. Looking at how they're set up.
I mean, a late invade with their crowd control early on, like you only have Leona, right? And I think the concern here is if you invade into Leona. If you're Leona invading into Alistar Karma, you're going to get punished. So there is a problem there. I think you definitely do want to play a bit more safe. You don't want to lose early on. By the way, NYP, if you guys recognize the mid laner, that is Previously, Baby Life, he's changed his name. He used to play on, I believe, ITE College Central, College East, if my memory serves. So now he's at NYP, one of the star players for the previous roster, a very kind of resilient and stable mid laner for most squads, and I'm looking towards him on this Azir to make something happen.
Yeah. Hakrim looking to do a full clear before going to the crab, and both junglers are pathing towards the top side.
Yeah, they're going to be mirroring each other right now, but it seems as though um, the Jarvan is going to be making earlier moves. He's on the Wolf camp already. So this is a full clear on the bot half. And then he's going to be moving towards his red buff. Meanwhile, Hecarim doing Crux. So he's going to be a bit delayed. And I think that's one of the issues, like in the sense of why Hecarim has fallen off. His clear isn't as aggressive as the past, right? Last time you speed through all these camps, now not so much.
Yeah. You know, maybe you take out the Lilia,
Mm-hmm.
since that she's allowed and she got some changes in the
Yep.
jungle, and now she can actually skirmish with people.
Yeah, Lilia could be a decent option coming in too. But right now we're looking at Jarvan clearing his Raptors, moving into the red buff Nyx. So he's going to be a bit late. Rather, the Hecarim is going to be a bit late to match this if they're going to both contest the top Scuttle Crab. See how that one goes as he moves over to his blue as well. Taking stock of the situation, we saw the bot lane consistently pushing out. Adrian Harms has the lane prio. Like, they are just sitting outside this bot tier 1, and they're not really afraid because they have a general idea of where the Hecarim started. He should be pathing topside now. So now that the wave is bouncing, they will be looking to be a bit more concerned, a bit more careful.
Oh, Jarvan maybe for an early gank onto the mid.
Actually, he got spotted out by the ward, right? So I don't think this actually works. Does it work though?
Who knows, you know? Maybe Karma playing it a bit too pushed up. As they go in for the engage, they miss the knockup. Both flashes used, one on the jungler and one on the mid lane.
Yeah.
A good trade from, I believe, the side of NYP.
Yeah, but look at this though. They lose the Scuttle Crab because the Jarvan decided to make the aggressive play as opposed to like the safe play. So there's this idea of risk versus reward. As speaking of
lane
risk,
getting ganked as he forced the flash out of Broken there. And
TP
here
as
comes
well?
the TP.
Hello?
Wait, Karma TP'd from mid and now Broken may be caught out.
Chasing in still, he should be able to get out. That was a bit of a question mark ping TP coming from me. Like, he's already forced the flash, and that is a net positive trade. I'm not sure why Nuka decided he had to make the TP up. Like, there's no reason, right? Unless they're worried about a counter gank, but you know where the Jarvan is already. So it seems like there was a misread on the side of TEMASEK Poly, and NYP, they'll be happy with that. Now they have TP advantage both in mid as well as top. Especially because he might just find a solo kill here. First blood for Broken. He says, you want to gank me? Nah, man. A solo bolo for the Silas. And this is, again, like I said, going to force out the TP from the Volley Bear.
And then you use the Kingslayer as well, and you also force the flash of the Volley Bear
Oh,
as well.
big value. Big value.
And now your bot lane is in trouble.
TP, they might have to back off here. They have no vision of where the Jarvan is. The wave is in a weird spot. So Adria, he's setting up the bait. Nice and tasty, but they know there's a Leona inside. They tagged him with the Q from the Samira. So they know that this is a bit too fishy.
You get an early back for the jungler, and even though you're a few camps behind, you do have an advantage in the skirmish against Hakrim, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he's down like 2 camps, and I think both of those were the Scuttle Crabs, if I'm not wrong. Scuttle Crab and +1 camp, right? So, yes, like I said, you know, he's down behind in terms of camps, but he's made more things happen for his team in a sense, because right now they are up a little bit of goal, and a lot of that is in the hands of the Silas, who's already picked up a lost chapter, whereas his lane opponent only has boots and non-magic mantle, so he's going to have the resistances, but does not have any combat power to speak of.
You have those resistance, and then you're just gonna be there sitting, tanking damage, while the Silas says, Kingslayer, you don't do damage to me anymore.
Exactly. Now, flag and drag in coming from the Jarvan means that he's going to be able to clear this camp away. I like that he's matching somewhat against the Hecarim to make sure that he keeps up relevant in farm, but in terms of overall value, what the Jarvan provides is just the Cataclysm, right? You want to be able to get to a point where you sit through enough damage and you tank through enough damage after you drop the Cataclysm, and it's fine. Like, you don't do anything more from your team apart from initial engage. All the DPS responsibility falls onto the Azir, Silas, and Kai'Sa. So all you need to do is just get a good engage and die.
And then you have that, you know, you engage, then you still have the plasma onto the certain champions, and then Kai'Sa can just follow
Exactly,
up.
yeah. That's the idea, right? You hit him with the flag and drag, Kai'Sa is allowed to reposition and dash in. So that's the general idea for Nanyang Polytechnic.
Oh, and then another solo kill possibly. Both stolen outs.
Looks like he should be fine. I mean, for the most part, this matchup is just going the way we expected, right? Kingslayer healing up everything, and because Volibear can't afford, or rather will not buy any early executioners, no grievous wounds, means that this matchup is just always going to be leaning towards the Silas in terms of kill potential, but the Volibear is out farming. Let's not forget, he is still up in hit in terms of CS.
Yeah, when you let Volibear farm, it's gonna be a threat in the late game.
Hello?
Misclick maybe?
Question mark ping coming in. I think he was looking for the slide and push back in, but was not able to find the angle. Now he's going to have to clear the wave out. No ultimate, no mana. Not sure if he's going to be able to sit here and just, lane for long. Longevity here is going to be diminished. He has to back out. Thankfully for the Azir, he has the TP, so he can come back in.
You know, the top laner also has TP, so he can go bot lane, make a play there, and then go down. As that happens, Alistar goes in, gets stunned, finds a stun on the onto the Kai'Sa, but it's not enough. As I believe the bottom lane burns their ignite.
Yeah, that was an ignite for nothing there. So actually, all in all,
By the way, Flash goes in, gets the stun, but on the back line you have the Leona who stuns him again.
Here comes the Samira out, and Jarvan coming in as well.
I think this is enough for the bottom lane to disappear.
Should be able to get the kill here.
Leona goes in. I think it's a bait.
I'm not sure why they flashed in for that. They didn't have vision in the river, so there was a big question mark coming in as well. Both teams kind of making like kind of odd plays, but all things considered, it is still NYP that comes out ahead. Big wave crashing in the top lane, and because he used his TP into lane, whereas Karma didn't have his, get some free time alone with the turret. So all across the map, NYP are actually the ones finding the leads because they were able to counterplay the bot side, and Azir is able to pick up some gold as well as get some chip damage, and with this Cloud Dragon, it solidifies their lead early on.
And we talk about vision, NYP starts off the dragon, denies the vision, and now your support can set up vision further into the jungle.
Yeah, I mean that's the what we're talking about, right? If NYP can get information of where TEMASEK Poly decides to come in from, that gives them a lot of choices on how they want to play out these fights. And speaking of play out these fights, they might just find a solo jungler here on the Rift Herald. Oh no!
He gets the stun, but they get the Rift Herald, I believe, as they are looking for the Hecarim there. Ulti being used, trying his best to stay alive, but gets stunned. He tries, gets knocked back. He gets a two-man knockback though. Good fear as Volibear jumps in, big damage by him, but the amount of CC is too much. Chain CC for the win there, and that's a 2 for nothing trade.
The problem with TP there was in that fight, they all walked in one by one. You can tell by the death timers, like it's all kind of staggered out. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. And when this happens, it's because it's the idea of a sunk cost fallacy. When someone dies, they think they have to go in and try and save them, and they end up dying as well. When you take these fights, it has to be like straight on, 3 on 3. Not 1 on 1 or 1 on 3, right? And that's how they're losing all these fights.
It's starting to feel like, TP's playing a solo queue game, while
Yes,
NYP is playing a competitive match.
Yes, and NYP is a lot more coordinated. Cancel the recall!
Let's go.
Oh!
He gets the damage off though, but it doesn't cancel the recall.
You hate to see that, man.
That happens,
Hate to see that, but meanwhile, his jungler is going to come in and just soak the wave. This is what I like to have my jungler do when I play mid. If I need to get a base timing, he's just going to walk in and get the EXP, make sure it doesn't go to waste. Meanwhile, bot lane.
He misses the Zenith Blade, but does the damage as Leona gets the stun off onto the Alistar.
You can't really fight that when the wave is pushing towards you. You can see that in terms of like minions. TP has more and MP has none. So to fight that means you're tanking minions as well, and that's usually like a couple of minus percentage points down in terms of how you want to play that fight out. Not really ideal. Just want to soak the EXP. Sneaky. Hecarim coming in. They've already swept this, by the way, so they don't know the Hecarim is here.
Yeah, but Jarvan's nearby. If he recalls before the Hecarim engages, it could be a threat. He goes in, gets the stun, gets the root, chain CC onto the Samira as Jarvan is here on the backup. Goes in, gets the stun. Ooh, Cataclysm miss as Leona forced to go golden there. Hecarim secures the kill, gets a 2-man knock up. Hecarim loses his life here, and now Alistar is all that's left. he can't even find the kill. As the Kai'Sa picks it up.
Yeah, I mean that's you were kind of like hyping up if the Jarvan recalls and then they don't find that fight. But you know what started it all? It was the Leona jumping in. The Leona hit a perfect Zenith Blade into Solar Flare, and Jarvan immediately cancels the recall and comes in to
And
assist the team.
top lane solo bolo again. He steals the out. Hasn't used it again.
He wants to push the wave. Push the wave, out him under the turret and kill him. Come on, do it. Be a man.
Yeah, and then you have TP as well.
Yes.
You can do it.
Be a man. Cancel the recall. Okay, you know what? He's gonna get out. He's fine.
And we're 10 kills into the game in 10 minutes already.
Yep. I love how Broken just doesn't care. He's crashing the wave. He's like, I have no mana. I don't have a lot of health, but I'm just gonna crash the wave in. And meanwhile, the mid lane, he has 2 kills and 1 assist with a bunch of turret plating. This Azir is gonna start becoming
It's
a
just a free
problem.
lane at this point.
Yep. He can slide him in.
lands
He can
the
just push him
root.
in.
He just gets it, but I think he may even just dive on the tower. But 3 members of the NYP is here. Nuker is in trouble. He may even just die here.
Nuker has to be careful. There's a Leona just waiting in the wings. I'm surprised that...
Silas TP's in.
No
the back,
way.
like, no way this happened.
No way.
Flash stun, flash stun. He jumps in, misses the E, and now he's all alone in the enemy lines. Here comes Jarvan though. Hey, no, that is Azir.
Okay, the counter engage coming
Counter
in.
engage comes in. Oliver lands it, and now he's all left inside as he's getting caught in a 5-man fight right there. There's nothing he can do. He's trying his best, but Jarvan won't be able to get out of there alive.
You know, there's a Chinese saying for this, like Hawkeye. I mean, like, you deserve it, right? They dove between mid tier 1 and tier 2. And at first it was the Silas alone, and then Jarvan decided to poke his nose in. Just NYP being a bit too over-aggressive there to get punished, and they might just lose mid tier 1 off of this Rift Herald play as well. This is a big problem to charge in. They should be able to finish off the turret because there's no one really to defend. It's just a Leona alone.
And now here comes the Azir. I think you could defend it a bit, kind of.
He has the Ludens, so that's more or less why he's able to clear out the wave. Thankfully, they don't lose mid tier 1, so not the worst thing for NYP, but it could have been a lot worse, right? If they found another kill there, maybe,
Oh, TP looking for a fight. Oh, lands a Zenith Blade, gets a stun, and there's no one there to come up and gets the fight. But Azir finds one, and then he gets shut down. Leona is all that left. And Jarvan is the only one. He's late to the funeral.
Yeah, there's nothing left for them here. They just have to back out. And again, NYP taking one of those fights that they shouldn't, right? 2v4 situation or 2v3 situation is just not ideal for them in the river. And when you start fights onto Alistair, you have to remember that he already procced his Aftershock. He hit butted you away, and then you Zenith Blade in. He's as tanky as he's gonna be without his ultimate there. There's no way you kill him off. Handshaking the fight is just a bad decision. NYP now, at least they get the inside track. They move in on towards the Ocean Dragon, and they will claim this for themselves. So, a couple of mistakes here and there, a couple of misplays, Nick, but, they still get the objectives. They play the game the way they needs to be done, as we see. The Silas, again, now, he's catching up in terms of value. I mean, he's always had a couple of kills to his name, but this lane is not going to go the way of the Volley Bear anytime soon.
Despite, NYP leading in 5 kills, they're nearly even on CS. I mean, gold. They have just roughly 1 to 2k gold, but it's more than enough for NYP to push the lead even further.
And I think a lot of this just comes from the fact that they were able to keep up in CS, as our observers kindly showing us the gold values, right? It's the jungle gap that we're looking right now. The Hecarim is up, 1.5k compared to his opponent. And for the most part, everyone is kind of just holding their own in lane. Right now, the Azir is the only one that's taken a massive... The Azir and the Kai'Sa are the only ones that have taken a massive goal lead. So, what this means is the map is split, right? Azir, Kai'Sa is fed, but on the other side, it's the jungle and top. The Volley Bear and the Hecarim, they have the gold advantage. So, if you're NYP, you want to be playing towards the Azir Kai'Sa. Not to the Silas. The Silas, just leave him alone. Make sure that you focus down whatever lane the Azir Kai'Sa is on and try to find value there, because they are as strong as they can be right now. Kraken Slayer already completed for the Kai'Sa. Meanwhile, on the side of the Azir, we saw it was a Luden's Echo as well as the Lucidity Boots. So he's starting to pick up some ability haze.
Now, I love the Swiftness boots on the Leona though.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a niche thing. You don't usually see it. You usually see a Lucidity,
Yep.
but I love it here. It allows Leona to get that engage, that gap close, with the extra movement speed, and it becomes a threat. NYP secure the second Rift Herald, as maybe TP looks for a fight in the river.
They could use this to just open up the map even more. I think dropping it in mid tier
Oh,
1 is a bit of a waste. Oh, hold
Hacker
on.
goes in, pushes him back into his own teammate.
Oh, re-engage.
Nice re-engage. Gets the knock up, and now one leaves with his life. The other, I believe, won't, as NYP is on the escape. Does a lot of damage, and maybe Silas can clean this up.
I mean, he's walking down the river, but that was a interesting back and forth there. We saw the Cataclysm in first, and then Volibear jumping in, riding the Thunder and Lightning. Good Emperor's Divide to make sure that they stop the re-engage. I actually forced the flash out of the Volibear, so not exactly the worst thing in the world. But so it's a 1-for-1 trade in terms of summers, but both teams will walk away with no casualties at all. Mid tier 1 going down here.
Oh, TP gets the first turret.
Does he
Azir
die
in
here?
trouble.
Hello?
Maybe. He lives again.
Okay.
He lives to tell the tale, as in the top lane. Volley out onto himself.
Yeah. That's how it feels. Just a taste of your medicine, right? It turns out that Volibear is not immune to the lightning that he throws out. He is going to go down, and Rift Herald Throne takes down the top tier 1 in favor of NYP. So
They
that
maybe
is
even
their...
look for the tier 2 even on the top side.
I mean, if they get another charge off, yeah, for sure. Silas pushes pretty well, but he looks like he's just going to get the charge off and recall, knowing that Nuker is rotating up. Does not want to have anything to do with this. The
Minion
power,
blocks.
yeah, the minion blocked it. I was like, okay, there's no way that happens the second time, right?
Now looking at the gold, they are still 2k gold ahead. They make some plays, but TP is there to answer back.
And they gotta try and make something happen here. Broken is the one with the TP advantage. No, well, Nuker has Broken has a TP, and so does the Volibear, but Nuker has
TP
one as
behind.
well. Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah. Oh, true TP. This is a 4-man bot lane dive. And here comes the members of NYP. NYP is kind of dead. And oh, Killer Instinct goes in. The shield will save his life.
Oh,
Wow,
big
TP
Empress
lives.
Divide.
And then, oh, he's about to just die. There's just nothing the Hackrim can do there.
Yo,
That's a 1 for
MVP Azir, just a 1-for-4. He hits 4 members with the Empress Divide. That is actually cracked. This guy is popping off. I mean,
He used to play fight Econ
yeah,
Central.
yeah. There's really just this is just the Azir show, right? Like I love that, or rather, I'm happy that I kind of hyped it up. This guy, you know, used to be known as Baby Life, coming in now, changed the name, did not deprove in skill. You know, just popping off in Campus Legends, 4-1 and 3, making the plays happen for his team. And should be noted that that fight went very well for TP at the start. Double TP on the flank, double teleports rather for Temasek Poly from the flank was able to guarantee them a good start to the fight. But when Huang Yeji shows up on the Azir, when Baby Life shows up on the Azir, things go a completely different way.
Oh, Nuker maybe stepping up a bit too much, as Leona just stands there and pushes off Nuker's pursuit. But Volley is nearby, I believe.
I mean, you don't really want to take these fights, especially when you just saw what NYP can do to you in a team fight, right? Emperor's Divide is back up again for the Azir, I believe, and this is the window. Dragon Soul point here on the Inferno, and they're going to start this one up. No qualms whatsoever, no hesitation. They want this objective, and I think Temasek Poly, they'll be forced to contest this, otherwise their opponents will be at Soul point. Here we go.
Hackrim gets stunned, maybe misses, gets out of the Zenith, the Solar Flare, but Kaisa picks up one, and now they get the soul point for free, right?
Oh!
That's a nice slide into the back line. You know, sliding into the DMs, but here comes the Zenith Blade, gets the root, gets the stun of the Samira. Samira goes in, but it's not enough as she picks up one, and she goes down to the Silas.
You get the Leona as a consolation, but the damage has been done. NYP, again, like you said, sliding into the DMs. They get 4 for 1. And the soul point to boot. It's going to be Inferno Soul next for NYP. And I think we might just have to call time of death here, Nick. At 20 minutes into the game, there's a 5k goal lead for NYP. But Nanyang Polytechnic, it feels like they're a lot further ahead than what the goal tells.
I think, you know, the Mastery 5 you're showing off, it shows that Mastery score doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, Mastery score is just like a flex, right? A lot of these players, in terms of like what they bring to the table, the numbers tell a different story. The numbers do tell a different story. 4-1 and 7 now on the Azir. Baby Life is just having an awesome game. Even picks up the Magi's, the BM book as I like to call it. See if you can get a couple more pages in. Whether NYP's syllabus is strict enough for him to add more pages in.
You know, it feels like this is sort of like the homework where your teacher gives you.
Yep.
TP gives you the easy math homework, and
Yeah.
then MIP hands you a whole engineering blueprint for you to figure
Oh
out.
yeah. He's reading like engineering 101 right now, right? For him to get more pages in is going to be difficult, but he's shown that he is capable of doing so. What a bright young lad. Trying to do more reading, get more reading done. Bit of a lull in the game now as NYP are looking to pick up their items now. We did see a gold drinker completed very early on for the Jarvan, and he's moving in towards a bit more defensive stats. You see the Kindle Gem, you see the Bramble Vest, so he knows that his job is just to be a frontliner for his team. Meanwhile, for the most part, on the side of TP, they're struggling to really find the core items that they need, right? Divine Sunderer done for the Hecarim and the Volley Bear, but that's really all there is
they're
to it.
looking for the early barrel in 20 minutes.
I mean, with Kai'Sa and Azir, this goes down very quickly.
And then you don't even have vision on them.
They have Nashor's Tooth on the Azir as well. It melts. It just melts instantly, and NYP, they get it. And they get the engage as well.
They get a free Alistar as well. You know, maybe Biff is on the menu right here. Gets a good knockback, but the Leona won't be caught out as now the members of TP are on the run.
Yep. They get the Baron and a sirloin steak for dessert, which sounds kind of gross, but it is what it is as we see the sliding glide
and
in.
Here comes the Volibear, gets the tower denied. As the Silas TP backs in, Kai'Sa doing most of the damage there, and they may even pick up the tier 2 tower right here.
Yep, they should be able to get this as we see a flank coming in from Broken.
Silas.
Looking for it.
He gets
Everfrost!
the Everfrost, gets the stun, gets the root. There's nothing you can do as TP. They look to the end of the game as NYP have the Baron buff as well.
A delayed ace. The only reason that wasn't an ace is because the Alistar respawned, right? Otherwise, it would have been an ace coming from NYP. And like we said, time of death was 20 minutes, and NYP putting the final nail in the coffin here, picking up the inhibitor, but taking some time to reset. Of course, it's still early enough in the game that the respawn timers are very low. NYP don't want to risk it. They're just going to wait for what appears to be Dragon Soul, I think, before they close this game out. They still have Baron buff, and they have TP on the Azir. So, big threats coming in. 4, 2, and 9. He does not have the Magi's anymore. It is only a ring now. So, decides that he prefers jewelry over books, which is a bit unfortunate.
You know, the Silas gets a nice injection of gold there, 600 down his pocket.
Oh, he's the one with the book actually. He has 15 stacks on the Magi. So we know on the Nanyang Poly squad who likes to read, and who just likes to wear rings and jewelry.
He picks up the watch as well, you know.
Oh yeah, a man of culture, a man of culture. Rings and watches. He's all about accessorizing today.
Oh, Alistar gets caught out. Look
Holy!
at how much damage that he does.
He one-shot him.
Shreds to Alistar.
He just one-shot him. Oh, he did him so dirty there. Recall on the brush. No one's gonna spot that one out. He gets back to base safely. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought he was just able to. He gets the channel off, and meanwhile jumping in again. What is going on?
He looks
Stop this, NYP. It's illegal. Nanyang Poly, they're just looking to close this game out. They will not take any prisoners here. Moving towards the bot inhibitor and looking to make headway into the base. They've already cracked the mid. They've already cracked the bot. Now they're just waiting for the minions to throw in Nick.
What if the Volibear just stops the fountain time?
I don't think that's even an option right now as they're diving in.
Nothing they can do, you know, as TV just.
Tier 4s are down. The Nexus is next to follow as NYP. We asked the very important question, Nick, at the start of this, whether TEMASEK Poly is going to break the win streak, and it seems like the answer is a solid no, as Nanyang POLYTECHNIC are on the Nexus. The game will freeze, but we know how this one plays out. Members have already left the game, and, you know, it's just a GG out. Nanyang POLYTECHNIC find their 5th win on their current undefeated run in Campus Legends.
Yeah, but I believe the threat is next week.
Yes.
Where NUS and Raimi will go against this team that just went 26 and I believe 8 or somewhere below that towards, I believe, the top 4 teams.
If you're watching this, you know, Dr. Raimi, Pharmacist Raimi, you better keep your eyes peeled because Nanyang POLYTECHNIC are not going down without, you know, a fight at all. They want to have this perfect run through group stages, and only you can stand in their way. NUS, you are our only hope. Help us. If you guys are too old for the reference, it's Star Wars, by the way. So that's going to be the end of game 1. Once again, you know, if you guys have voted NYP, you will be right. And maybe you stand a chance to win the KM300 keyboard and mouse combination. I'm just going to put all this down and bring this up once again. Jing, jing, jing. You know, you guys might have stood a chance to win this if you voted for NYP. But if you were wrong in your prediction, if you were one of the faithful that believed in Temasek Polytechnic and got it wrong. It's okay, because we still have 2 more games to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be holding this tournament or this giveaway all the way to the end of today. So there's still 2 more games coming up. For now, guys, we will be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next set of matches up for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A lot of my painting is about movement. I really gravitated to the circle, and from the circle came the atom. It's like the center of everything, the universe, our biology, all of it. The atom is